My name is Kimberly Hartis. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not crazy. I'm not really quite sure. I just knew my whole life I always wanted to be a nurse, you know. My childhood, it didn't seem that easy for me at all. Nobody ever seemed to like me, and I'm not sure why. I was always the kind of person that would do anything for anybody. So I never really understood why people drew away from me instead of next to me. I wondered what was wrong with me. Why? Why did nobody want to be my friend? Why did nobody want to listen to me? At the age of 34, with 4 kids, 2 marriages behind me that didn't work, I joined the Army to become a nurse because I felt like that was my calling that God gave to me. He wanted me to show His love to others when they had no hope, when they had nothing left at all to give. It didn't matter, it would be okay. He has you. And I became a nurse, and I worked my ass off during COVID. I sure did. I worked as many hours as I could. I wanted to be there nonstop. I didn't want people to die alone. Who wants to die alone? It's crazy. Nobody wants to die alone. There were many days I went in, and I think, what did I do wrong? How did we not save that person? That person was so young, and I told them, don't worry, it's okay, we have you. And then 10 minutes later, they were gone, you know? And I just didn't understand it. And I thought, what? This can't be real. I don't know. And then I started throwing up at work. They told me that I couldn't eat while I was at work if I wanted to keep my job. That didn't make any sense to me either. Didn't understand why I couldn't eat. I mean, we didn't have time to eat anyway, but to restrict me from eating after I'm working like 156 hours every 2 weeks didn't make any sense to me. So I went to the emergency room seeking help over and over and over again and over again. Being told it was in my head, being given different antidepressants, antipsychotics. Nothing was working. And it was like the doctors didn't believe me that none of it was working. And then I got genetic testing that proved, hey, guess what? That patient, she can't take that medicine. Here's the DNA test that proves that that medicine doesn't work for her. And she's been trying to tell you, but you didn't want to listen, you know? So here's the proof in black and white. And you present that to the doctors. And they still don't want to listen. And so you show up at your doctor's appointment thinking that this doctor is going to help you get better, right? He sent me to this doctor. I'm going to get better. And the doctor calls the ambulance because they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do for this patient, you know? Let's send her to the emergency room. She must want drugs. You know, because drugs fix everything, you know? I never wanted any of the drugs. None of them. All I wanted was to feel better. All I wanted was to be seen. For someone to listen. And notice, when I spoke, they said to speak And even when I spoke, no one listened. So then I was told I had severe gastroparesis. It's a disease that paralyzes your intestines. So they put a pacemaker in my stomach, and it contracts like every 2 seconds, on for 2 seconds, off for 3 seconds, non-stop, for the last 5 years. It really didn't help. Helped some, but it didn't help all the way. Because I had gotten up to 200 pounds because they just kept pushing fluids on me because they didn't know what to do. So when the pacemaker got put in, the fluid started to release. And I got thinner again. A doctor told me that he couldn't give me the body that I had when I was 20 years old. And I told him this wasn't the body I had when I was 20 years old. I mean, this is the body I had 2 months ago. But for whatever reason, I had gained 40 pounds in 2 months. I was told after that that I had severe Crohn's disease. They did scopes through my mouth and my bottom, and they said that even the pediatric ones were too small to get through my intestines. They were closing up. Had an obstruction coming. So on Christmas Eve, I went out and bought Christmas presents for people I've never bought Christmas presents for before. Or maybe I had, but I hadn't in a long time. Because I knew it was going to be my last Christmas here on Earth. I came home Christmas Eve afternoon. My husband was sleeping. He had to work that night. I told him something was wrong. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't think I was going to make it. He called 911. Told me to calm down. I was having an obstruction. So I had an NG tube put down my nose into my stomach. Given Solu-Medrol for 5 days. Stayed awake in pain. Not an ounce of sleep. Not 1 minute of sleep. Nobody cared. Nobody listened. I think they thought that I wanted more drugs, but I didn't want more drugs. I wanted to know what was wrong. They say murder is wrong. But this right here, this is torture. This is hell on earth. I think, what did I do to deserve this, you know? I'm a veteran. I stood up for this country. I believe in God. Oh, I believe in Jesus. Yes, in the name of Jesus. So they said I had severe Crohn's disease. I had severe gastroparesis. And then I still wasn't getting better. And so someone decided to send me a DNA test for some rare blood disorder. Well, guess what? I tested positive for that rare blood disorder. It was called hepatic porphyria. It's an extremely rare blood disorder. I was given a doctor packet with listed doctors that were experts or whatever in that field, and that they were going to help me. And so, again, I tried to be brave and go to the doctor and talk to them and tell him my journey and what I've been through. They said I didn't have that kind of porphyria because I don't have blisters on my skin on the outside. My whole body feels like it's burning from the inside out. and they can't stop it from burning. And he can't take this pain anymore at all. Not at all, you know? So now they have a DNA test proves that I do have this rare blood disorder. So now I have Crohn's disease severe, gastroparesis severe. Now this extremely rare blood disease, all of which cause abdominal pain. All of which I've been saying that I've had this whole time. Nausea, vomiting. I couldn't tell you the last good meal that I've had. It's hard to even really get a sip of drink to stay down. Sometimes as soon as water hits my stomach, it comes straight back up and I throw it up. The VA has really tried to help me. I know people talk crap about the VA, but they really have tried to help me. They have sent referrals after referrals to specialists. I've been told that, oh, sorry, this specialist is retiring or has retiring, or we're not accepting new patients right now, or we don't accept patients with gastric stimulators. And I just felt like I'm going crazy. I'm out of my mind. Like, this can't be real, you know? Why is no one listening? So I told my husband last night, I gave up. I'm done. Nobody's willing to help. I have nowhere to turn. No doctors will take me on. They all say I'm too extreme and rare. They've never seen anything like this before. And so last night I said I gave up. My husband said, no, you're not giving up. And he called the ambulance to come get me. And he said, we will do this every single day if we have to. I can't live without you. That's what he said. So the ambulance came and got me. And I tried to tell him my story. And when I got to the hospital, they put me in the waiting room, in a wheelchair, in the hallway, in this cold hallway, in a wheelchair by myself. Not one friend, not any family, nobody. It was just me, there, all alone. And so I called my husband and I said, this is no way to die. I do not want to die in the middle of a hallway in the cold by myself. That's just crazy. Why would I do that? They're not even going to help me. They're not listening to me. So what, are they just going to give me drugs and then send me home and tell me everything is going to be okay? And then when I wake up in the morning, I'm screaming in pain that is so overwhelming and so unbearable. I just can't take it. And so I said, I give up. I throw my hands up. I'm done fighting. I can't fight it anymore. I can't fight alone. No one's listening anyway. So I asked God to just take me. And I called my husband and I told him to take me home. He brought me home. He didn't want to, but he brought me home. I told him if I was gonna die anywhere, I was gonna die in our bed. Listening and praising Jesus for this wonderful life that I had been given, but not understanding why nobody was listening. And then it was like he said, it's okay. I got you. It's gonna be okay. You're a child of God. He sent his son to die on the cross for our sins. His blood washes over me. I felt different this morning. I had that little bit of hope that I was getting somewhere. My prayers are being answered. I sat here and I faced the truth that I guess I'm either crazy or I'm dying. And my husband said that he couldn't watch me die. And I didn't want my kids to watch me die either. So, so he came home and, and I gave up. I gave it to Jesus. And this guy named Joseph called me today. The phone number on it said it was an oncology specialist. And he said his name was Joseph. And that he got a referral from a doctor. And that somebody was going to see me next week. And I thought, am I dreaming? This has to be a dream. Joseph, somebody out of the Bible, is calling me right now to tell me that somebody is willing to help me, that a doctor is going to see me. Next week. So I decided to give it all to Jesus. Just turn it all to Jesus. Because he's the way maker. And Satan is not going to win. He's not going to win.